Welcome! Today, we're diving into what is arguably the most critical final step of any GLP study, reporting the results. Because in this world, the work isn't really done until the final report is signed, sealed, and delivered. This isn't just about paperwork. It's about creating the permanent, official record of your research. You know, it's so easy to think that once the last sample is collected, the study's over. But that's not the case. The truth is, a study really isn't finished until that final report is signed. It is the definitive, official, and permanent record of everything that happened. So let's break down exactly how to build one that meets those tough GLP standards. So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why, the purpose of the final report. Then we'll get into the how, with a content checklist. We'll talk about the huge responsibility the study director has, what to do when, errors happen, and finally, what needs to be done after that ink is dry. So what is this report really all about? What's its ultimate goal? Well, it's to create such a complete and accurate story of the study that someone could fully reconstruct and understand it, even years down the road. To really see how this works, let's step inside a lab. To make all these rules and principles feel a bit more real, we're going to follow a case study. We'll break down the whole reporting process, step by step, through their eyes. All right, so picture this. You're at Apex Labs. It's a top-notch, GLP-compliant research facility. There's a buzz in the air because a really big study is just wrapping up. And this is Dr. Rostova. She's the study director. She has just overseen the final in-life phase of her study. All the observations have been made, all the raw data is recorded. Now she's facing what might be her most important job yet, putting it all together in the final report. This quote right here, this is Dr. Rostova's mantra. This is everything. The report can't just be a rehash of the study plan. It has to reflect reality. Every single thing that actually happened, every procedure, every observation, even every little deviation has to be in there. It's the whole truth. Now, what's really cool is that GLP doesn't just leave you guessing about how to build this thing. It actually gives you a clear blueprint. So let's take a look at the checklist Dr. Rostovak is going to follow to build her report.
Just look at the level of detail required here. We're not just talking about the name of the test item, but its full characterization data. Things like its purity and stability. And it's not just some general end date, but the actual date the experiment was completed. And this is so important. The report has to state the exact physical location where everything will be archived. It's all about one thing: complete and total traceability.
Okay, so Dr. Rostova has drafted the report. She's pulled in all the contributions from other scientists, like the pathologist, but now comes the most critical step of all, the one that puts all the accountability in one place, and it lands squarely on her shoulders. The answer couldn't be more clear or more absolute: the study director. That's it. This is one job that cannot be delegated. Dr. Rostova is the single point of control, the single point of accountability for the entire study and its final report, period. And this final validation is a very deliberate three-step process. First, Dr. Rostova has to go through with a fine-tooth comb and confirm that the report is a true and accurate reflection of the raw data. Second, she signs and dates the report itself. And third, she signs a totally separate GLP compliance statement, which is her formal declaration that the study followed all the rules. So this is the crucial point I want you to take away. Her signature is so much more than just an administrative checkbox. It is a formal, professional declaration. She is personally putting her name on the line, vouching for the validity of every single piece of data in that report. But what if a mistake is found after all that? Let's imagine a week after Dr. Rostova signs the report. The Quality Assurance Unit finds a small typo in a data table. Does that kill the whole study? No, it doesn't. But fixing it requires a very specific and formal procedure. The regulations draw a really bright line here. Dr. Rostova can issue an amendment to correct the error. That's totally fine. What she absolutely cannot do is perform new experimental work and try to add it to this now finalized study. If new data were needed for some reason, that would mean starting a brand new study with its own plan and its own ID. The original study is done. So, to fix that typo, Dr. Rostova issues a formal amendment. This isn't just a sticky note. This document has to clearly explain exactly why the change is being made. It has to be audited by QA just like the original report was. Then, Dr. Rostova has to sign and date it, again taking personal responsibility. And finally, that amendment gets filed permanently in the archive, right alongside the original report. So there's a perfect audit trail.
All right, the report is signed, any corrections have been made, Dr. Rostova's job is almost done, but there are a couple of last essential tasks that really lock in the study's integrity for the long haul.
First, the sponsor might need the report formatted a certain way for a regulatory agency like the US EPA. Just changing the layout isn't an amendment because the scientific content isn't changing. Second, and this is non-negotiable, Dr. Rostova has to make sure everything, and I mean everything from the original plan to all the raw data, to the tissue samples to a copy of the final report, is all sent to the secure archive. This is what guarantees the study can be fully audited years, even decades from now.
By following this whole rigorous process, Dr. Rostova has created a record that is accurate, complete, and verifiable. But the integrity of this report, it's about more than just checking a regulatory box. It protects the validity of the scientific process itself. And ultimately, that helps protect the health and safety of the public and our environment. That is the real power and purpose of doing this right.